Do you need something?
You're not gonna get any work done with no food in you.
If you're so worried about me, then maybe instead of sitting around and doing nothing, you could help me out a little.
So, Samuel sent me a letter earlier today. He said that he was gonna come to the farm and check out some things and, hopefully help out a little bit.
I know why Samuel's come to the farm already.
You what?
We're just not making enough money to run the farm, or to pay the hands. The reason Samuel's coming over is to buy the farm out from us. He spoke of new methods or technologies that would increase output and production. I don't really know. And honestly, I don't really care. It's not like we can keep running without his help.
You're just gonna walk out and leave us with all your problems? This is your farm!
Well, maybe if you started to help out around here, we'd get things done.
Joseph, what are you doing? Sammy won't be here for another hour.
I'm taking a break.
Joseph, get back here. What are you doing? Joseph! Joseph! Joseph. Joseph, are you alright?
Edward, where am I? Good morning, Joseph. Seems like you've gotten yourself in a little bit of trouble here.
Samuel? I don't even know what happened.
I see. Edward, come with me. We need to talk.
For what?
Right now. Edward. You can't work like this.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, what do you suppose we do, Edward?
Well, you're buying the farm, ain't you? This is your problem.
Edward, you need to take responsibility around here. I may be buying it, but you need to help me run it.
Well, Samuel, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Oh, but Edward, it does. He adopted you so you could continue this farm's legacy.
I didn't ask him to adopt me in the first place.
But Edward, that does not matter. Like it or not, you're our only option, so you need to take responsibility like I told you.
Shortly afterward, it was learned that Joseph had developed a very fatal illness. Realizing that his time was short, however, he decided that the best course of action was to sign the farm over to Samuel. Samuel brought innovative technologies onto the farm while Joseph was still alive and able to manage from his bedside. Edward, angry at Joseph for signing the farm off, migrated to the city to spite Joseph. 2 months later, Joseph's disease became his demise.
Edward,
Yes, Samuel?
have you thought about my proposal?
I'll do it.
I'm happy to hear that, Edward.
Since Edward's agreement to managing the farm, Samuel continued to bring new methods of farming to ease the workload and increase output. Devices like the seed drill and cotton gin ridded Edward of all work formerly required to run the farm. For several years, Edward worked under Samuel, and 10 years after Joseph's death, Samuel brought a new tactic of management known as enclosure. This basically merged Edward's land with the land of many other farmers and combined their yield. With this development, the amount of necessary workers declined rapidly. Consequently, Samuel visited Edward again soon after, demanding that he have at least half of his hands resign from the farm. Being unable to refuse due to his agreement with Samuel, Edward reluctantly complied with Samuel's requirements and released half of his workers. This impacted Edward's respect for Samuel, but greatly increased the farm's income at the expense of the livelihoods of his hands, of course. 5 years after this ordeal, Samuel returned once more to give an aging Edward some unfortunate news. He told Edward that all the land he owned was bought out by a wealthier landowner and that Edward had to vacate the land he'd worked on for so long. Forced to leave his livelihood behind, Edward returned to the city to fuel the call for factory workers to serve in the Industrial Revolution in a different manner.